Welcome, Bronies, to the FOB Equestria podcast, the official podcast of FOB Equestria. This is Spangle, and today I have joining me Scarlett and Josh, who is also known as Firebrand, Fiery Joker, and probably many of you are familiar with because, well, let's face it, a large majority of the FOB is Josh's fans.
Yeah, well, I try to raise awareness.
And you do a good
Senpai,
job.
are you ever gonna notice me?
So this is the first podcast we've been able to do, and it is going to be a weekly thing now. For those of you who may remember way back when in the day, I kind of made it as weekly as possible of a thing to do a podcast. It was kind of my baby, and then life got busy for me. I got kind of burnt out and overwhelmed and all that fun stuff, but I am back with a vengeance. And these podcasts are going to range anywhere from 30 minutes to 60 minutes long. I'm going to try and keep it pretty consistent in that regard. And pretty much going to be recorded on a weekly basis and uploaded very shortly after. So
Yeah, I'm actually going to be able to come to all of these now because I'm not in the Marines anymore, and I have time to do things that I want to do.
Exactly.
Yay, you're a civilian like me.
Ugh. But I traded the busyness of the Marine Corps to the busyness of other things, managing people, managing a channel, and so yeah, technically I'm still just as busy, but I'm busy doing the things that I actually want to do.
So when you say channel, I'm assuming you're referring to your YouTube channel there.
Yeah, both of them.
Both
I
of
mean,
them,
I'm still creating content for the FOB channel, but I'm also I also need to create content for my own channel.
I mean, fair enough. I get it. I mean, I'm a super small-time YouTuber. I do it for fun, of course. But I mean, I'm nothing. What your subscriber count's like over 100,000 right now, right, Josh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like at 1,000.
Did you just get an award from YouTube for that?
Yep. You can see it at the beginning of top 10 female characters. Not plugging.
Not plugging. Not shameless self-promotion. But yeah, I mean, I just...
on one of my own channels.
On one of your own... Is that even, like, counted as self-promotion when it's, like, one of your other channels, if you're talking about another one of your channels? I don't know if that technically counts.
Is that sort of, like, incesty, or...
Yeah, but I definitely get it. It's like, even though my YouTube channel is small time, it still takes up a lot of my free time. So, I mean, for you, it must be just exponentially even more so.
Yep, but yeah. So, enough about me. Let's talk about what we all came here to talk about.
So, yes, this is the first podcast that we've recorded since BronyCon happened, and we're definitely going to touch on that quite a bit. In fact, that's probably going to be the majority of this podcast, and we'll see what else gets brought up here and there. But so some of you may be aware, if you listened to the previous podcast, that there was a kind of mini gathering of military bronies called FOB Con before BronyCon actually began. That was what, Wednesday? Scarlett,
That was Wednesday before BronyCon. Yes,
I was unable to attend because, well, I was busy getting ready for the convention and doing things to prepare, and we'll obviously touch on that, but tell us a little bit about how that actually went. Pretty much as planned for the most part?
Yeah, it pretty much went over as we thought it was. We did have to go off a little schedule due to things coming up, basically getting food and all. So the live music from Worst Princess, which was formed by Michelle, Red Sage, Minister, and Jack of the FOB, and me, that started later on in the night due to reasons. But basically, everyone had a really good time. We do feel bad for one of our members who had a little too much within the first hour that he was passed out the whole entire time.
Who shall
Basically what happened.
remain unnamed, I'm guessing, to avoid humiliation? Maybe?
Yes.
That's your call. I wasn't there.
I don't know. Let's just call him M. That's all we're going to say. We're just going to call him M. But yeah, M and A decided to have a little bit of a drinking contest, and M decided to chug 1/4 of a bottle of whiskey. And I was not there for this. I went to the airport with my good friend Luna Bell to go pick up a couple of other members who flew into Baltimore. And we get back and we just see M passed out on the picnic table. Luckily, we did have a medic on hand who is in the FOB. So we were making sure that he was alive.
The power of military bronies!
Yes. But overall, it went really well. And then around, 10:30, 11 o'clock, you decided to show up, Josh?
Mm-hmm. Well, yes, I was traveling over because of, what was it? Well, it was the earliest I could get there. I wanted to get there, and I got on base, and then I'm like, oh shoot, I don't know where it is. And so I call up Tweak. It's like, hey, where is it? And he actually sounded shocked that I was showing up.
We honestly were all shocked.
Yeah.
That you even came at the latest that you came.
Yeah. Well, I had to show up.
Well,
and you had a nice little welcoming.
Yeah,
a nice little welcoming from us. Cheers.
Yeah, I showed up. I actually showed up with my older brother, and this is his first encounter with military personnel. Ooh, probably not probably didn't give him the best first impression.
But it was probably an honest impression because, I mean, let's face it, it's that kind of stuff happens within the military among celebrations and such. Certain military members, they may be good at their jobs and they may, do good things for this country, but in their free time, they might take things a little too far, party too hard.
We like to party, and
when it's time to party, we will party hard.
Yeah.
I love that song so much.
Well, I'm a pretty, I don't know, I have extremes. I can be pretty quiet, reserved in the background, not doing anything, and then I can also be, way out there, super energetic. It's almost to the point of bipolar if if it wasn't, if I couldn't define why it was, but I know it. For me, it's very logical why I act certain ways in certain situations.
Yeah, it's
true. I live with him.
Yeah, there's a couple times where I could turn into the demonic combination of Rarity and Pinkie Pie.
I don't even know how to imagine that combo. That's.
I only do that whenever I'm called to entertain someone. So there were a couple times in the Marine Corps where I said, "Hey, Burner, do something silly." Okay.
All right.
Is there footage of this?
Probably somewhere. If I know the military, there's usually someone taking a video of it in the crowd somewhere for future posterity. At least that's been
Vegas.
my experience.
What happens in Vegas ends up on YouTube.
Right. But, I mean, at least, hey, Josh, you did more than I did for FOB Con, and then that is you actually showed up. Albeit late. I mean, I just got way overwhelmed with stuff. I had to show up at Tim's house, a.k.a. Hollow Point's house, early the next day, and to drive all the way out to, what was the base it was on again?
Fort Meade.
Fort Meade, yes. To drive all the way out to Fort Meade, then from Fort Meade to Tim's house, and then from Tim's house to BronyCon, and then have to do all the setup we had to do. It just, I didn't have the time for it in the terms of, there was other things I had to take care of. Speaking of our YouTube channel earlier, yeah, that's part of the thing I was trying to set up and get all prepared, because I knew I wouldn't have access to it for the entire weekend. I mean, like I said, small time, kind of just a hobby for fun, but I try to be as professional, I guess, as I can be with it. I guess that's military training for you. It teaches you to kind of be committed and professional when possible.
Yeah, it's I'm an introverted person, so I prefer to be alone, but I can function in a social situation. It's just that I prefer not to because I don't know. I just always feel incredibly guilty showing up to a party, eating a couple of the snacks, and just say, "Hey, I want to leave."
Yeah, I understand that actually. I mean, there's probably a lot of people who might be surprised by this, by the amount I talk and such. Very introverted, as a matter of fact. But I'm like the weird kind of introverted who's... it's like when I actually kind of like took the effort to try and quantify what type of personality I was. It basically said people who shared kind of similar traits with my personality were like people like Martin Luther King, which, you know, people think of as this great public speaker, this great leader and movement kind of personality, but he was an introvert. So it's weird how things can mix like that.
It seems like all of the great people were introverts.
Fair enough. I think it's because they're more focused on thinking things through and, you know, getting things all organized and planned and taken care of in a line, rather than they're more internally in their own thoughts than out in the observing the world as much. Although it's now we're getting into philosophical discussions. Let's get back to BronyCon here. So yeah,
Just do it, Con.
the what? Oh yeah, just do it, Con. I think that's a fair assessment.
Yes.
Everywhere you went, that's all you heard was just do it.
Yeah, BronyCon 2014 was it like wasn't it like everyone kept saying fun everywhere, and it's like
That was,
or was that 13?
from what I heard, that was from what I hear. I wasn't at 13, but that was 13.
Okay, I'm mixing up my conventions. I mean, this was Pony Convention number 11 for me, so they start to blur together, so please forgive me.
Wow, you're in the double digits.
I am in the double digits. But that also came
This
from
is
being in
all-
Arkansas, which was really central to a lot of the kind of central western pony conventions, like the ones in Texas and like the ones, just a lot of them happened around that region, like none specifically near me, but within reasonable driving distance. And to put that into quantifiable terms, reasonable driving distance is you can make it in a day, like in 6 to 8 hours.
Well,
So,
luckily, we do have a couple of other pony conventions that are on the East Coast. You got TrotCon, and you have PonyCon up in New York.
yes, but I am broke now,
Oh.
so I don't have funds
Yeah.
for conventions at this point in time. But we'll see how things pan out in the future. It's a very transitional phase in my life. So I'm actually in the Air National Guard now. Josh, you're kind of aware of this. Kind of went from active duty to Air Guard, and I'm traditional guard. I'm trying to go back to school, but that does not look like it's happening this fall semester, so I'm trying to get full-time with the Guard, but I also have to figure out how I'm going to work that logistically. So it's always a rough thing to do. Still, back to the original subject, as I am so prone to tangents. The BronyCon, first day I get there, which was Thursday, I get there with Hollow Point and all of his gear, some of my gear too, speakers, soundboards, all the 9 yards. And we meet up with a guy who, I kid you not, last name is legitimately Funkhauser. And I'm like, best name ever. But Alden Funkhauser, he is now... Hollow Point has run the Renegade stage at BronyCon and other conventions for the past, 2 years or so. Maybe 3. I don't know. I haven't actually asked him specifics on that. All I know is he ran Renegade Stage at BronyCon last year. He's done that at other conventions like MLP, MSP, and he was running again this year. But he recruits in Alden, Mr. Funkhauser, and who is just blows us out of the water. I mean, blows our minds with his lighting setup. Like, if you were at BronyCon, you could attest to just how professionally done the Renegade stage was with the lighting trusses and all the it was whole 9 yards. Speakers were... Go ahead.
It was beautiful.
Oh, yeah. No.
Compared from last year, because last year it was just a stage, you guys actually had lights and everything, and it was just beautiful.
Yeah, it was very professionally done, and like I said, a lot of that credit goes to Funkhauser and his whole setup. Tim brought the speakers, the big subwoofer. I brought some smaller speakers to be used as monitors, so people could actually hear what they were sounding like while on the stage. And but there was a massive motherboard control, that was Alden's, and was just, he could actually sync up like audio with the lighting, like to where they would be tied to like different things, and it was just super professionally done. Renegade stage was a huge hit this year, tons of performers, pretty much no downtime, and it was almost running alongside the Bronypalooza main stage for a lot of the earlier performances. Like you had Tetsuo and Garnica and a lot of other just performers that were, there for Bronypalooza and stuff. But, when they weren't performing, they would just be up on the Renegade stage. And that was, again, Alden, he was there for hours and hours and hours on end. And at the end of the convention, Hollow Point just went up to him. He's like, I pass the baton off to you. You've done this so well. And if you want it, you can just keep on being the man in charge of Renegade at BronyCon, because you can just do it so much better than I can. And when I say I'm obviously saying it as if I was Tim. So it's looking promising for next year. And like I said, Alden's just such an awesome guy. It's I got a little bit of time to perform on Renegade, but I mean that was pretty much guaranteed when Hollow Point's running it. And Hollow Point
Princess also performed on Renegade too.
Yes, they did.
It was fun.
Yeah, but I mean, it was pretty much guaranteed I'd get some DJ time up there because Hollow Point was running it, and Hollow Point and I are buddies. Speaking of, I know you were there, Scarlett. Josh, did you happen to make any of Bronypalooza?
No, I am not a party person. I am not a rave person. No.
Fair enough, understandable. But
and also, neither is Ink Rose, and she was staying with me, and we had to leave.
The shipping intensifies.
Oh my gosh!
Bronypalooza was
I swear, every time I just utter Ink Rose, everyone just automatically thinks ship.
Well, I mean, it's a thing. It's definitely a thing on the internet. I mean, I know how the real life situation is actually working out and everything. How we're
just friends.
Exactly.
Everyone.
How you legitimately have another girlfriend who is not Ink Rose, and Ink Rose you're just good friends and all that good stuff. But like the internet loves to ship you two.
Okay, hold on a second. I'll be right back.
All right.
The puppy injured Michelle's eye, and I need to help him really quick.
Aww.
Oh, yikes.
There's a reason I call.
Yeah, hold on a second.
There's a reason I call the puppy trouble. Also, I live in Michelle's house, for the record now.
Yeah.
Oh no, I don't. Oh no, I didn't. That whole girlfriend thing. I don't really have one. I was just saying that.
Oh, so you were just trying. I'm assuming it was just in the atmosphere that was said. It was said in a joking manner.
Yes, it was a joke.
Therefore, an example how things taken out of context can be vastly misunderstood.
Yeah, so it just when you said that, I'm like, wait a minute, wait, when did I say that? I'm trying to think about it. It's like, oh, oops, guys, no, don't have a girlfriend.
Fair. Well, now all the Josh fangirls are like, now's my chance.
Okay, I'm back. What are we talking about?
Talking about how the girlfriend thing was a joke said in passing.
Yes, and geez. Misunderstandings occurred.
And so yeah, all the fangirls are like, oh, so I have a chance with Senpai.
Pretty much. And so going back to the Bronypalooza
Pretty sure
thing,
some of your fanboys feel the same.
Oh yeah, I mean.
Oh, trust me, I get hit on by plenty of boys.
AKA FOB Con.
So mine.
I only if Josh wishes to discuss this, and only if he is
okay.
the one.
I'm only gonna say this. Someone was drunk, and someone made some unpleasant advances. That's all I'm saying.
All right.
I still feel really bad for not knowing that was going on.
It'll be left at that, and left to the internet for them all to wonder what specifically occurred. And they can all just fantasize about it however they wish.
Oh, you had to pick that word, didn't you?
Wait.
Out of all of the words you could have picked, it was that one.
Wait.
I gotta have my fun.
DeviantArt.
Huh?
Pop up on DeviantArt. Josh Scorcher has been mentioned in a photo. Fan art's gonna happen now.
Yeah. Going back to the previous subject, so one of our own FOB members, Hollow Point, who I was talking about a lot about earlier, did actually perform main stage. If you were at BronyCon and you made Friday night, you will know he was like, he absolutely killed it. He was amazing. And he's going to apply for BronyCon next year. He played Electro Swing, which is kind of a genre that no one's played at BronyCon before, as a DJ or otherwise. So it really mixed it up, but everyone loved it. And he did such a good job. His performance was flawless. No mistakes, nothing went wrong. Just absolutely perfect. And in honor of the occasion, I actually shaved my head. Like, completely shaved, bald, 100%, because the two of us are pretty much, we look like almost like twins when we dress and have the same appearance. Like, our facial structures, our eyes are the same color. You know, we just have so many things similar about us that it's just fun to mess around with people. And so I shaved my head because he is completely shaven too. He just shaves his head because he prefers to be bald, less trouble. And we both kind of went up on the stage. I helped him set up, and then I was up behind the gate and stuff and on the stage, you know, hyping the crowd, and it was just an amazing time. And at the end of it all, he had a can of silver cake spray, and because he had such the war boy look from Mad Max, he said, "Witness me," on the stage as the last minute or two of his set was winding down, takes the silver cake spray, sprays it across his face and teeth, and then just jumps down into the railing area where, you know, I was at with one of his other friends, you know, because he wanted us both to help hype the crowd. And then we all just went crazy, and the crowd loved it. He actually, afterwards, in the hallway outside BronyPalooza, he did the same to me when some of his friends were around. He's like, "I am witness of you," and all that fun stuff. It was good times.
That was great. I just remember my first reaction when Hollow and Spangle came out. First words out of my mouth were, "What the fuck did Spangle just do to his hair?"
You mean the fact it wasn't there anymore?
Yes.
Yeah, it was weird.
That was just... Hollow did such an amazing job. I did go to BronyPalooza a little bit. I went for LA Monty and No Walking, who were right before Hollow Point, and then after Tim was gone, I went back and passed out. And Tim did such an amazing job. I was out in the crowd. I was actually in the front row, and everybody was just dancing. You had like several circles going on. There was a conga line at one point that some friends dragged me onto, and it was a great time.
Yeah, good stuff. I mean, and it was like such an amazing set and this was kind of like a senpai noticed him moment, and in a sense. So for those who are not aware, which is probably a lot of people, Hollow Point is like a huge Celestia fan. Celestia is best pony for him. Like, 100%.
Yes!
And
yes. Celestia's best princess.
I have my own feelings about that. I like Celestia as a character, but she is not my best princess. However, Nicole Oliver specifically wanted Hollow Point's contact information just to, you know, personally congratulate him and have just a short discussion with him, just because she so enjoyed his performance and thought he was, you know, just his energy was so amazing that and M.A. Larson did the same too. So those were the first two people to from the show. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, M.A. Larson was actually with me during Tim's set in the front row, just partying it up with me and dancing and shooting the shit.
Oh yeah, I saw that picture. Like, you took a picture like side by side with him during BronyPalooza, right? Yes?
Yes, I did. And he actually asked if he could sign my chest. And so I have his signature. Yes, he asked if because Larson does this thing where he'll go around and sign random stuff. Yes. And he asked me to sign, he asked if he could sign my chest. I said yes, and then later on he asked to sign a guy's ass, which was a lot of fun.
What?
It's Larson, don't question it. Just believe in Larson.
Okay, I believe in M.A. Larson.
I believe in M.A. Larson.
Yeah. So he signed my shirt that you guys had for the run in 2013 right between the two Pegasi on my chest.
Okay, so I think that clarified a little bit more of what people were probably thinking.
No, he did not actually sign the skin. He signed my shirt, but he said, "Can I sign your chest?"
At which point, like, what was your initial response to that? Like, where's...
Oh, I told him, "Fuck yeah!"
Okay.
I said, "Fuck yeah!"
You didn't even ask to clarify, you just said, fuck yeah, got it.
Yeah, just fuck yeah. I don't care. I mean, the shirt is basically up, like, the collar's basically up to my neck. So...
Fair enough. It's
Yeah.
I had my own run-in with M.A. Larson at BronyCon, but also I'm talking about in terms of his signing random things tangent he is on. Like, he legitimately is signing tons and tons of random things, signing all the things, pretty much.
He signed, like, several things. He actually signed parts of the building at BCon.
He did.
He signed,
A mirror in the bathroom, I heard.
One of the mirrors he signed as you exited the vendor hall.
Yeah, he might be... I don't know, he's just having his fun, and it's not really causing any sort of harm, per se, but he might be...
It's vandalism.
He might be getting himself in trouble with some of it. I don't know. But actually at MLP MSP, which I went to because a few friends dragged me along for the ride, not that I am ungrateful for that, it was a good experience, but M.A. Larson was there, and I was just, I was sitting around waiting for Garnica because he had borrowed some of my cables, and M.A. Larson walks by, and we just start talking with him because apparently he loves talking with military bronies just because our stories typically tend to be a little bit different from the normal. I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah, he asked me
interesting.
if I was the military. He asked me if I was in the military. I said no. I just have family who was in the military and some really good friends who are.
Yes. I'm one.
Knowing that I wasn't even in the military, he just talked to me like I was just a friend.
Yeah, no, and MA is really cool like that. But so while I was sitting there and we just start talking about it, I'm just sitting and he's like, can I sign something on you? I'm like, and I half jokingly say it. And I'm like, you can sign my boot. To which he goes, seriously? I'm like, yeah, sure, if you want. So he legitimately signed my desert tan boot that I was wearing because I typically at conventions run around in a multicam cosplay with celestial patches.
Yeah, I hope he wasn't signing your actual boot.
No.
Because I would have some words to say to you. Like, wait, you were wearing your actual uniform to a con?
No. I was wearing old multicams from deployment.
Boy.
Yeah, I was wearing old deployment multicams with none of the official military patches. It was cosplay patches, so it was nothing identifying to a service. It was pretty much just like if you had gone out and bought multicam. Desert Ninja / Desert Scruff. And that's pretty much the AFI reg. It's like as long as there's no identifying service marks on it, nothing that says U.S. Air Force, no official service like markings like rank or name or like anything that would identify as being a real service uniform, then you're fine. And such was the case with my multicam because it's all peel-offable patches and stuff, and so I just put on all cosplay stuff and went around as a Celestial Special Horses soldier because puns. I'm sorry, Josh. I had to do it. I know you hate puns.
How can he hate puns when he's the fiery Joker?
I don't see it. Well, I kind of do because your name. I mean, she kind of has a point when your name is kind of a pun of your real life name. So, is that a little bit hypocritical?
Mm-mm.
Silence.
Not a pun. It's not a pun. It's a clever subversion.
He's going into denial now.
He's
going into technicalities. He had to think about that one though. You could tell just by the silence.
It's not a pun. It's not a pun. It's a play on words.
Okay. I'll give you it, Josh. I'll give you it.
But you still have the name Joker in your name. I mean, jokes, puns.
Oh, okay. That's
Comedy.
where you were going. Okay, now I understand where you're going, Scarlett. Anyway.
Yeah.
So, I ran around kind of with the same cosplay at BronyCon as one of the outfits I wore, but there was a lot of actually military bronies cosplay. Well, not military bronies, but bronies in military get-up doing cosplays of Lunar Republic, Equestrian Guard, this, that, and the other. And I
actually have a story to tell on that, too.
Okay, it's probably the same thing I'm thinking of, but I'll let you do it. But I actually heard from some people that there were some military members, like in legit military get-up, around the convention center, but they didn't have badges, and they couldn't tell if they were actually, like, part of the convention. So, I mean, not much you can do on that regard, but also, even if they did have a badge, it's like, if they're retired, really not much you can do about it. You can confront them about it and be like, hey, this is kind of unprofessional. I mean, because you're separated, you're out of the military, you're not technically held to the same rules, but you should understand the standard and all that good stuff. But yes, we'll take this moment to say, again, we've stressed this so many times on so many of our podcasts. Anytime it's talking about a convention, one coming up or one in past, if you are military, do not show up to a convention in your uniform. It is against so many regs across the services. It is wrong. Don't do it. It's just bad juju. But go ahead, and we'll see if what you were thinking about, Scarlett, is the story I was thinking of.
Well, basically, there actually were a couple people in uniform, but they took all their patches off that were running around with some armed military groups. Yes, I found this out after the con, because a situation happened where some people in the group decided to run around and, you see, like, the orange tips and all. One of the orange tips actually fell off one of the guy's airsoft guns or whatever. And they actually had to call in a SWAT's weapon expert to the con and inspect all their guns because of that one incident.
Yeah, yeah, that was exactly what I was thinking of. That's why for my cosplay in my multicam getup, I had a Nerf gun. It was unmistakably a toy. It looks cool. It's one of the Nerf. It's actually
were Nerf guns, but they painted them black.
Yeah, my Nerf.
Why?
Mine definitely. Okay, mine wasn't a Nerf per se. It was a Nerf knockoff. But I got it at a BX and it had a cool paint scheme on it. But it was still unmistakably a toy. Like, you could look at it from a distance. It was using bright, vibrant colors, large, like, orange on the front. Like, you could not mistake that for a real weapon unless you were completely ignorant. And it's so... When I did meet up with some of those guys in uniform. I don't know if it was with one of them that caused the incident, but it's like I saw some of their stuff. I'm like, that's a little... I mean, it looks cool. Like, I thought it looked cool, but at the same time, I was like, yeah, that might be asking for trouble. And apparently, it was. So...
They were actually doing, like, legit running around, doing escorts. Like, I know Saturday when I was hanging out with you and Ink, Josh, we saw a bunch of them just escorting people who were in Princess Cadence and Luna cosplay. And I literally was like, under my breath, I'm like, dumb motherfuckers.
Well, no, in that regard, if they're like, quote unquote, escorting a cosplay, it's like, you can look at, like, the person who's in legit cosplay, not in the military getup, but, like, in the princess, look at me, I'm a Princess Pony cosplay, and be like, okay, that's part of a stunt, a getup, whatever. It kind of, like, disarms the group as a whole. At least that's
but it was, like, it was the exact same group that were doing, like, the escort mission thing, and they were yelling and running around, and it kind of irks me just a little bit.
Yeah, that might be taking things too far.
They're doing it for attention.
Yeah.
That's exactly what they're doing. They're doing it for attention.
Yeah,
I know for a fact a couple of those guys got military discounts. Who weren't even military. Because I was behind one of them. Yeah.
I'm going to bite my tongue on that one.
Exactly.
But for the record, I mean, to be honest, don't get me wrong. Cosplay, people do cosplay. I do cosplay because it's fun, but also because, I mean, you do cosplay because you're kind of looking for a little bit of attention. Some people more than others. But, I mean, it's you want people to... I mean, it's fun for you, of course, just to do it, even if no one, like, notices you or stops you or comments on it. But, I mean, at the same time, I feel like, to a degree, you're hoping for people to, like, say, hey, can I have your picture? Oh, nice, cool cosplay, awesome job. Stuff like that. So you're...
Oh, yeah.
But there is taking it too far, which, you know, when they're running around shouting, doing all that tactical, you know, simulation stuff, that's going too far in my book.
It's like the whole entire weekend, I was Flash Sentry. I had people coming up to me, asking me for my pictures as soon as I walked through the doors on Friday. Another female Flash Sentry actually messaged me on Facebook with the picture, and then a few minutes later, a Rarity cosplayer took a picture of me and my friend Babu and uploaded it to Twitter and tagged me and the FOB in it.
Nice. I mean, I got a few pictures too. Mostly when I was running around with my Desert Ninja outfit, my whole Celestial Special Forces outfit with the patches and multicam and all that stuff. It was fun. Anytime anyone stopped and they're like, hey, can I get a picture with you? Sure, absolutely.
Yeah, and oh my gosh, it's over that weekend. I swear I signed more autographs than John Delancey and took more pictures than John Delancey.
Awesome.
Well,
hey,
yeah, I mean, you were
awesome.
charging like $20 and $40 for autographs and pictures.
No, I wasn't charging anything for autographs or pictures because it's just, oh my gosh, it was so freaking ridiculous.
I know.
So many people stopped me.
I saw you like twice. I mean, partially my own fault.
I run into him like several times a day.
Yeah, I saw you at the panel, and then I saw you just once in the vendor hall when I stopped and I was like, hey man, just nice seeing you, and then I walked off because you were already in a conversation with someone else and I didn't really want to interrupt too much. But I saw pictures of you. I didn't personally see you, and probably because I might have seen you and didn't know it was you because I didn't know you were doing this cosplay. But you had a pretty good like Heath Ledger Joker cosplay going on, Josh.
Oh yeah,
that was really good.
Yeah, that was great because when I was just walking down, I was actually so into character. I was like walking down the street in the hunch and just walking around like shit, like just like licking my lips, shooting people glares, and people are like, oh my god. People on the street were just like, "Oh my gosh, that is so awesome!"
That is. Oh,
and I'm like, Joker! Just like giving people like.
You and Ink were adorable. You and Ink were adorable as Joker and Harley Quinn.
Yeah, that was fun. Yeah, we're gonna do another cosplay at Nightmare Nights. I'm gonna be a Debonair Ezreal, and she's gonna be Star Guardian Lux.
Awesome. I'm kind of sad I missed out on catching you in the Heath Ledger Joker cosplay, honestly. It sounds like it was a sight to behold. And
I'll send you the link over to Skype.
Oh,
yeah.
Awesome.
Well, I can just show him the picture of you and me, Josh.
Yeah, that's what I'm showing him.
Oh, okay.
Oh. Yeah, I ran into Josh like several times during the convention. Like, first I ran into him at the vendor hall where I gave him actually at Ink's little vendor slot and gave him his very belated Christmas gift. And then the FOB right after the panel decided to kind of crash the analysis dinner because they were at the restaurant right under us.
Yeah, there were actually a few FOB, let's all go off and get dinner. And I think we actually broke off into like multiple groups to go do different dinner things here and there at different points, just because there's like so many military Brony and FOB, members, both staff and just community-wise, that were just all grouped up here and there. I was kind of held captive by Renegade stage a bit between the convention, but
yeah.
It was awesome. I had a great time. I think this has been my favorite BronyCon so far. Unfortunately,
yeah, this has been my second, and it's my all-time favorite BronyCon.
How'd it rank with you, Josh? Good?
Yeah, it was pretty good. I mean, I got to be on 3 panels, which was nice.
3? What? I was going to talk a little bit about wondering about the Wonderbolts panel, but I wasn't aware you are on 2 others.
Oh yeah, I was on 2 others, and they were both back to back and in the morning. Right. I had to miss the opening ceremonies in order to get to them.
I've never been one to go to opening ceremonies.
The line for opening ceremonies, because I was hanging outside of it, where I ran into Dr. Wolf and Silverquill, and I also ran into AC Reexpress and Saberspark, who I actually ran into the day before when I was going to get my pass. I ran into him in LA Monty, right outside of the opening ceremonies.
So I'm assuming, Josh, that you were on probably like a video, like one of the analysis panels or something like that.
I was on I was on 2 of them. I was on comedy through critique and analyzing MLP.
All right. So I mean, that's kind of expected. I didn't really look at the panelists though, because the only panel I cared to make, because I mean, I don't do panels per se all that often. I make a couple here and there throughout a convention, but I don't go to a lot of them. I went to ours, of course, and then Dusty Cat's kind of I forget what it was called. It was basically what he defined as being quote unquote manly, and it was a very good panel.
One of our FOB members was actually on that, Scuba Drew.
Yep, he was. I saw him, and they did a great job with it. They touched on a lot of good subjects. I didn't hear anything I necessarily disagreed with. Just a lot of good values and kind of, mindsets and philosophies they put out there. And it was very well presented and, well done overall. Our panel, a bit crowded, but I think it went over pretty well.
It did. The only problem I had with it was that one guy that was so obnoxious in the whole panel.
What are your thoughts about the whole panel as a whole, Josh?
Panel was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to just theorize, to just talk about I'm planning on making a video about some of the stuff that we talked about.
Oh, okay. So about just kind of expounding upon your own personal theories a bit more than, well, you were able to. Again, the panel was a bit crowded, so not everyone really got to say everything they wanted to say, but
it was like.
And I also enjoyed the little. I also enjoyed the fun little, the fun little shouting match that me and Tweak had.
Oh yeah, no, that was gold, pure panel gold right there.
Oh jeez, and Dusty Cat hopping up there.
Oh yeah, he was in a nice little Wonderbolts outfit too. I'm trying to remember. There was like one comment specifically directed at him by, I think it was one of us on the panel. I want to say it was Silver, and like that's what he said. My mind about the convention is everything is blending together into a blurry, just feel good times. But you guys remember anything a bit more about that? Because I want to remember.
I know I told him about the panel on Thursday when I ran into him, but I'm trying to think. I know I joked about a little bit at him on the panel, but
yeah, there were a few comments thrown his way. I mean, but he was like standing on the pretty visibly on the side near the front of the whole panel room. So I mean, and in the Wonderbolts outfit nonetheless. So it kind of made him easy discussion topic just for the panel as a whole. I mean, wondering about the Wonderbolts, he shows up in a Wonderbolt outfit, and I mean, it's
he was a good sport about it, though.
Oh no, he's always a good sport about it. I mean, he's just a very laid back kind of friendly personality, and you get that from a lot of people in this community.
Oh yeah, like after the panel was done, he came up to me and thanked me for inviting him, and he actually really enjoyed it.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. And actually, I just thought back. This is way backtracking a little bit. Being at Fort Meade with FOB Con, was that pretty much you had to be? again, only have limited experiences on certain Air Force bases and occasionally some joint bases here and there. And so to attend FOB Con, I'm assuming you had to be with someone who had a valid form of military identification to get onto the installation and make it there. Yes? No?
Yeah. Yes. As long as you had someone with you, like we did have one person who came who didn't have any kind of military ID, so he just called one of us up.
Oh, and then they met him at the gate?
Yeah. The guards asked him what he was doing because they were basically on 100% ID check.
Okay.
Due to the recent events in Tennessee and everything.
And that makes sense. I mean, a lot of the bases I've been on had 100% ID checks by default. But I've also been to other bases just visiting, not stationed, that, I was surprised just because the bases I've been at had that policy. When I went to visit these other ones, they weren't so strict about 100% ID check.
Oh yeah, no, like I'm only about 45 minutes away from Quantico. I've been to Quantico base so many times when Shay was stationed there. I didn't have to have
that's Q-Town. I mean, that's just the way Quantico's set up, and I learned that from Michelle. But the reason I asked... I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, I've been to Fort Meade last year because two of the FOB members, Luna and Drinky, let me stay at their place during the con. And basically, they just checked Michelle's ID. They didn't check mine. We just went on our way.
Right. Okay. So, and basically the reason I asked was because I had a little bit of, kind of, I had a run-in with MA. What was it? That would have been Sunday night.
Sunday.
Yep, Sunday night. You weren't there, were you?
No, you told me about it.
Okay. I was going to say...
Babu was there.
Okay, yeah, Babu was... I know there was a lot of people... They were just walking back with me because I had gone to the hotel where Red... No, it wasn't Red. Where Matt and a lot of them were staying. Dizzy and them.
Yeah, Red was at our hotel.
Yep. And so, because the distance was so great and it was so late at night, and they're like, okay, we aren't going to make you walk all the way back to the Hilton near the convention center by yourself. We're going to escort you back. And along the way, we run into M.A. Larson. And we just start shooting the shit and having a good time. And one thing led to another. I'm going to continue the story and not act. But anyway, so he recognizes me obviously from a few different things, but he introduces me to one of his friends he's hanging out with as, this is the airman I signed the boot of. And that was because he actually called me an airman because Hollow and I had educated him about the different services. We had educated him about the different services at MLP to an extent. And so he actually got the terminology right. And so he was staying at the Hilton as well. We walk inside, meet up with Minister, who's, there's a whole bunch of people chilling in the lobby of the hotel because, convention's over. A lot of people are leaving Monday. They're just kind of relaxing and hanging out and winding down from the convention. And so we actually, Minister and myself, talked to MA a bit, and FOB Con got brought up. And I'm bringing it around. Said that he said he would be interested in attending, just showing up, hanging out with the military bronies if he was at BronyCon next year and if FOB Con happened again. And that's why I was asking about the whole military ID check sort of thing. So essentially he would have to be coordinated with one of us to get on the installation and all that fun stuff if it was to happen.
Okay, so probably because... Does MA actually have any military background or no?
I haven't looked into it, honestly. I never actually asked.
And he has a military, a veteran ID, they can let him on base. Even if it's like Canadian, I think too.
Well, I mean, if it happens and it's something he's open to doing, then I mean, yeah, that'd be cool. But I mean, that'll just be something for us to work out in private. Still. It just goes to show how cool and approachable of a guy, MA is. And actually, I got to clarify something with him, because way back when in the fandom, long ago, like, I'm talking early 2013, I heard this rumor, and I could never verify it. I just never had the opportunity to verify it. So I straight up asked him in person. And I had heard the rumor that he doesn't prefer to be called Mitch. He doesn't hate to be called Mitch, but he doesn't prefer it. And so I asked him right there in person, like, I heard this thing one time at this place that, you know, you don't really like to be called Mitch. He's like, well, a lot of people call me Mitch, you know, and I'm not going to get upset about it. It's my name. I mean, if people call me Mitch, they call me Mitch. And he's like, but I've always preferred the sound of MA. I just think it sounds cooler.
Yeah, because you know what MA stands for? Major asshole.
Wow, really?
That was a joke of his. That was actually a joke of his.
So if it's exactly, and I remember you telling me that. So I mean, if he's the one who made the joke, it's okay. I mean, it's fine.
Yeah.
But he also joked about how he might not be at BronyCon next year because he might have signed one too many things. So they might not.
He was signing everything.
Yeah.
Like I know, Phil had him sign like graphic tape. I think.
What? Sign
someone. Graphics tape. Graphic tape. Something like that.
I'm not familiar with what that is. I mean, I can infer, but I'm not familiar with what that kind of material is.
Yeah. I don't know either. All I know is some sort of tape.
Okay, there you go. And it's
a kind of tape.
Yeah, one thing MA did specify, and this was at MSB, was you just don't go up to him and ask him to sign things. It's it's the whole random signing things kind of mentality. It's like if he gets the random impulse to sign it, he'll ask and then he'll sign. It's not I'm gonna go up, hey, sign this. No, not that sort of thing.
Yeah, and I can verify that once they pointed MA out in the crowd when I was just chilling with him waiting for Hollow, we had a lot of people just swarming us asking if he would sign something of theirs, and he said he couldn't.
Yeah, and that's hey, it's his own policy on the subject, so I mean, nothing to really criticize about. But yeah, it's been an interesting BronyCon. Any stories you want to share as we start to wrap this thing up?
I got to meet a whole bunch of horse famous people. Chill with them for a little bit. Not just Josh.
I recorded the prelude to 2 videos there. One is going to be a top 10 MCU movies, Marvel Cinematic Universe movies with a Toon Critic, and that's going to be up on his channel soon. And I also recorded the prologue to my next MLP review on my channel, which is going to be Mysterious Mare Duel.
Ooh.
Yes.
Ooh.
So things for people to look forward to, certainly.
Indeed.
Didn't you do a video blog for BronyCon too?
No.
Nope. Okay, so here's the story of that. We wanted to. We were trying to set it up, and I was talking with Saunter the whole time about it, because I had the equipment there, and we were going to do it a bit more professional than we had in the past. In terms of, like, we were actually going to have microphones, and it was going to be, like, it was going to be better audio quality, and you would be able to hear, you know, things a bit better, and there won't be so much background noise, and all that stuff. Like, we were set up to do one, but after talking with Saunter and trying to get people organized and set up for doing it Sunday, you know, early afternoon, like maybe before or after closing ceremony, sometime shortly in that time span, it just wasn't lining up. I really wanted it to happen, but it wasn't in the stars.
Yeah, but didn't you also film something, Josh? Or was that Ink Rose?
That was Ink Rose.
Okay.
And I'm not sure if...
I know I saw her mom bringing out the camera a couple of times. I thought she was filming for you.
Nope.
All right. So any last-minute topics then, if nothing else is going to be said on BronyCon? Any last-minute things to bring up as we, again, just start winding this down?
M.A. Larson made me a beautiful alicorn princess.
All right. I'll grab that picture. I'll grab that picture for this podcast and put it up. Does that make you happy, Scarlett?
Wait, which picture?
The Alicorn Princess one. That's on DeviantArt.
No, that's not meant to be in here. I was just making a joke because everyone was like, a lot of people were going up to MA saying, "Make me an Alicorn princess."
Nope, too late. It's gonna be your icon for this entire video.
Damn you, Single! I'm going to end you.
You can try. I mean, physically, you are close enough to do so, but the question is, physically, can you do it?
Possibly.
All right, I'm locking my door at
Just give
night.
a shade to help me.
I'm locking my door at night.
Hey, I can find a key in this house somewhere to unlock your door.
I'm getting a padlock.
You're not safe.
Josh, you're nearby. Come help me. Help me reinforce my room.
No,
Why have you abandoned me?
because I
His
don't
senpai
like you.
doesn't love you.
Aw. That feel when Firebrand Senpai doesn't love me.
Oh, you failed Tsundere Simulator. Oh, no, it's sorry, Yandere Simulator.
No, my OC is not actually a alicorn. It was just a joke.
No, they'll know. But so I've heard Josh. Do you know the actual pronunciation of that word? Because I've heard it said differently, and I don't know. I'm all confused.
It's like Tsundere. It's like Yandere, Yandere. I don't know.
Okay.
I know. I know I do. You're gonna have to ask an actual otaku because I'm only a casual fan.
It sounds like your level of confusion is about the same as mine on that.
You could probably
Okay.
ask like Moto or Babu or TB. They're
Or
otakus.
go up and ask Digibrony or something because I have no idea.
All right. And I just want to apologize as a way of diverting some of the fanboy hate, but also it is sincere that I did not give you all too many opportunities to talk, Josh. We need Tweak on here.
It's okay.
We need Tweak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You two, just your two interactions. You two interact so well.
Yeah.
The shenanigans are real.
All right. Well, is that it?
Yeah, let's wrap it up. So I guess tune in next week. Like I said, it is going to be weekly, and we ran a little about an hour this time. So hopefully we'll commit to not being over an hour in future. 45 minutes is our target goal. I am going to iron out the quirks, but yeah. Until next time, everyone say your goodbyes, and then we'll sign off.
Bye.
Thanks, M.A. Larson.
And thank you, everyone else, for tuning in. Thanks for watching, and we'll be with you next week. Goodbye.